and let us all do we can to build a better future. Kaboom. So what's going on with Biden's approval rating? Okay, what's going on here? I know it's from RT. That's going to probably trigger a lot of liberals, but I don't care. U.S. President Joe 30330's approval rating dipped to a historic low as he announced that he would run for re-election, according to Gallup poll released on Thursday. Just 37% said they approve of the way Biden has handled the job, the lowest number reported by Gallup since his 2021 inauguration. Wow. Biden's job approval has been in the low 40% range for most of the past 19 months, apart from the current reading and a 38% score last July, Gallup said. Only Ronald Reagan in early 1983 had a lower ninth quarter average among elected post-World War II presidents. The poll was conducted from April 3rd to the 25th and completed the day Biden formally launched his re-election campaign. On Tuesday, the president team released their first video ad with the slogan, "Let's finish the job." What job, Jack? Biden's most pressing challenges, including the slowdown of economic growth, high inflation, and the energy crisis, according to Gallup Economic Conference Index. 16% of Americans rate the economy as excellent or good, 37% as fair, and 40% as poor, while 75% said the economy is getting worse. Hey, let's have democracy in the chat. Type 1 if the economy's doing great for you. You're living it up. Steak, red wine, caviar, staying in hotels, you're living it up. Got 2-car garage. You're doing great. Type 2 is like, oh, God, how do I get past tomorrow? How do I get past the next hour, Kit? Tell me how the economy's treating you. Biden's likely opponent in the general election, former President Donald Trump, declared in November 2022 that he's running for re-election. You know, so I'm quoting Trump, we are living in a catastrophe. With your vote on November 5th, 2024, we're going to crush Joe Biden at the ballot box. So there you go. So we got a couple of videos here. And again, shout out to Case Study QB. I want to play this video here first. If you're not following Case Study QB on Twitter, please do so. He also has an original YouTube channel and Odyssey page too. Biden, too old to run.
One big thing is Biden's age-old trap. So, Jonathan, you saw it in the NBC poll last weekend. You see it in poll after poll. What's the big doubt the Democrats have when they say that Biden either shouldn't run or they wonder how he would really do? And that is age. President Biden, who's 80, the oldest president, would be 86 by the time he got out of office. And Jonathan, there's a huge conversation about this behind the scenes. The White House hates the topic, brushes it off, but you get them behind the scenes. And we have this great reporting from Axios's Alex Thompson showing that when you talk to aides privately, they'll say, well, the president's mentally sharp for his age. The president traveled.
What? What? I'm sorry. What? We would be here for another 2 hours going through all these videos of Biden stuttering and stammering and acting like a senile old fool. It is out there that there's something wrong with Biden. They even brought that up in the 2020 primaries. They brought that up. They did. They really did. It's like I'm going crazy here, folks. This is finally it. I've finally gone crazy. Anyways, okay, so what? He's mentally sharp. Are we sure? Are you sure about that?
Travels a ton for his age. They keep slipping.
He hasn't visited East Palestine, Ohio, though.
That phrase in. How does that manifest itself? A campaign where a lot of it is going to be run from the White House, from Washington. Jonathan, you
or a basement.
Live and breathe the president's schedule. You know that he rarely does things early in the morning, rarely does events at nighttime, rarely does events on the weekend.
So he's sounding like a senile senior citizen who is just, they can't do anything anymore. Look, I've seen it happen to not one but four of my family members, or eventually when you really get old, like you really can't do much anymore. That's the real truth. I mean, Jesus, shout out to those Walmart greeters that you see. I mean, it's difficult to watch, but at least they got energy. But it's difficult when you reach that threshold of an age. And Biden ain't no spring chicken, okay?
Just as President Trump, who may well be his opponent, the other spring chicken in that race, just as he had his executive time in the morning. President Biden has said that he gets up at 7:30, then works out.
Okay. I don't believe you, but okay, whatever. It's whatever. All right. I'm kind of like I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not angry, right? But let's bring up this other video here too. Because again, look, polling data is showing something else happening. Robert Kennedy Jr. is starting to catch up to Biden. Yeah, it's at 19%, but that's pretty huge right now this early on. Marianne Williamson, a little less said the better. But nonetheless, Americans want to choose somebody different. Now, I'm not going to vote Democrat or Republican. I'm not going to tell any of you how to vote, but we will be covering this election cycle. And yes, we will be covering the 2024 Democratic Convention here in the city of Chicago when it comes here. But this is important to note, and we'll see just what exactly the DNC is going to do.
There is a poll on the Democratic side which posted right after Biden announced. Okay. And I just want everyone to understand, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was polled. How was he going to do? He was just announced too. Obviously, his own family didn't show up at his announcement. He is known for being anti-vax, saying autism is caused by vaccines, among other things. Let's see. So how's he doing? Is this just a fringe 1% sort of a guy?
Well, no, he's polling nearly 20% in the primary against Joe Biden, according to the Fox News poll that came out yesterday. And I'll point out that that's not the only poll that shows him up in double digits, right? Joe Biden's still well ahead, right? You know, he's getting more.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. Right now, there's a lot of hype surrounding Joe Biden. And of course, corporate media is doing everything they can to bang their drums saying, oh, trust Joe Biden, trust the establishment, circle the wagons, circle the wagons. But the thing is, look, Roe v. Wade died under Biden. You know, there's economic crisis impacting millions of Americans. It's impossible to own a home or rent an apartment here in this country. We have unchecked political corruption and so much more. Nothing has fundamentally changed. Don't be surprised if eventually we see Joe Biden in second place. And then the Democrats are going to be in a little bit of a quandary here. It's going to be interesting to see them struggle. Now, again, I'm not expecting any kind of integrity. And I do, once again, if both of them choose to be on Hard Lens Media, I will ask this direct question to Robert Kennedy Jr. and Marianne Williamson. And this is something both their campaigns are going to have to contend with. What are you going to do about the Democratic election fraud that will take place? We saw it happen in 2016 and 2020, what they did to Bernie Sanders, how they smeared Tulsi Gabbard in 2020. I mean, and let's face it, Democrats have a thing called superdelegates. Now, these numbers are shifting. Maybe this is the beginning of something happening. The Democrats made it clear there won't be debates, but honestly, to Robert Kennedy Jr. and Marianne Williamson, you need to be raising up a big old stink about it. But again, look, Nico House and so many others did a lawsuit calling out the Democratic establishment, to which the DNC admitted, hey, look, they could choose their own nominee. So we'll see how this plays out. But again, watch the numbers shift. Joe Biden isn't as popular as corporate media wants you to think.
If this is a precedent for an incumbent, you're a week, 2 days or 3 days after your announcement, and
you get this crazy guy out there who's getting nearly 20%. I will point out, though, that, you know, if you look back in the 2012 Democratic primary, right, and you go to the state of West Virginia, there was a felon. There was a convicted criminal on the ballot, and Keith Judd, who pulled in more than 40% of that primary vote. Look, this is a protest vote in my mind going to.
Just remember, corporate media and DNC, remember how you were talking down to people in 2016 and how you destroyed the progressive movement with Bernie's help, of course. But Trump won. And before anyone starts saying, well, Biden beat Trump in 2020, only barely by the skin of his teeth. That's it. You didn't get an overwhelming, massive victory. And Trump's still running again. So I would say it's more than just a protest vote. And now, look, I'm not going to tell any of you how to vote. But again, corporate media is doing its same tricks over and over again.
A Kennedy at this point. More than that, it's a name recognition thing, right? Oh, a Kennedy running in a Democratic primary. You don't think it's that, Scott?
I don't think it's name recognition. 70% of the American people don't want him to run again, according to NBC News this weekend, including 51% of Democrats. They think he's too old. And the fact that they're willing to side in a poll with two literal crazy people.
Do you think people know who Marianne Williamson
is? She ran before. The Crystal Princess? Yeah, they know who she is. Come on.
Age is nothing but a number. Nothing but a number.
Okay, that guy over there needs to shut up. Age is nothing but a number. No, man, if he craps himself on the stage, then yeah, it's just more than just age being a number. It's an old man crapping himself on the stage there, buddy.
Well, there is so much more to come.
Again, it's just interesting just where corporate media stands. People wonder why nobody trusts them anymore. So that's different perspectives. That's different perspectives and points of view. But hold on. One more. Charlemagne the God calling for the DNC to hold presidential covering again. Listen to this.
For radio host Charlemagne the God is fed up with the DNC for not scheduling any primary debates this election cycle. Watch.
It's whack that the DNC won't let nobody they won't do no primaries next year, man. Do a primary debate. Put Joe Biden up on that stage with Bobby Kennedy, who's challenging him, and Marianne Williamson, and whoever steps up to the plate, and let's have a discussion, yo.
Exactly. Let's face it. I want to see a discussion happen. Hell, I want to see a Republican primary debate too. Look, hey, politicians, I know for that rare moment in time, you come out here asking us for a vote, but I want to be entertained. Okay. And if I had it my way, I'd put you out in the middle of the Coliseum while I'm drinking some wine. But nonetheless, I won't talk what I would do if I was emperor. But anyways, I want to be entertained. I want to see these people debate. I want to see the conversations happen. Plus, it's good content too. Come on, Democrats. What are you so afraid of? If you're so confident in your boy Joe, he finally did his third attempt. He became president. You don't think he has what it takes? You think Joe is old man Joe too impotent and weak? Is old man Joe too scared? Oh, I hope old man Joe ain't scared. Scary Joe Biden? He's afraid to debate Marianne Williamson and Robert Kennedy Jr.? Well, gee, he won't have that luxury not to debate Trump. Is Biden afraid? Is he afraid? Oh, boy, I wonder. Let's have democracy in the chat. Type 3 if you think Biden's afraid, that he's scared. That the DNC's scared for old man Biden. It's going to hurt his bedtime. I type 4 if they're just trying to cover for him. Whatever.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins us now. Good morning, Joe. I got to put this in context for anyone who may not remember who Charlemagne is. So this is when he spoke to then candidate Biden back in 2020. Listen.
Oh, this epic.
More questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black, it don't have nothing to do with you.
Remember that, folks. Remember that, Jim? That's on the internet forever. Here, one more time, because guess what? I'm in control. Told you we're going to have ourselves a great show.
More questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black, it don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see. Take a look at my record, man.
Come on,
man. We know the relevance of Charlemagne and why this is so relevant right now. Do you think the more pressure that people put on the DNC to have these debates, that they might actually do it?
I would hope so. The problem is it's only Charlemagne, who I worked with actually over at WOR in New York a couple of years ago, and he's an authentic guy. I talked to him several times. You listen to his radio show. I like the fact he doesn't hold back, doesn't care about what party you belong to. But the Democratic National Committee, this is all an effort to ensure the Biden basement strategy is deployed to its full effect once again during the primary process and beyond. And look, you just showed the polls. Joe Biden is at his lowest level in polling history for a president at this time in their presidency. The president was asked just yesterday, as you just played, what was the last country you were at? And I get it that you haven't traveled in a while, but he was just there last week. We're talking about Ireland, and he couldn't remember. And that's why he's being kept off this debate stage. He can't answer basic questions. And the same goes for Donald Trump, by the way, too, who says he's not going to debate as well.
Come on, you two old bastards. Entertain us. I don't care how old you are. My hip. I'm too old. I'm too tired. Trump, Biden, are both of you low energy? I think you're low energy. I think you guys are tired. I think you guys are sleepy. Maybe it's best that you two old bastards just walk off on the sunset together, holding each other hand in hand, and never bother the American people again. I guess Trump and Biden always have been and always will be low energy.
During the primary season, no, this isn't a coronation. You have to defend your policies, your ideas. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. You cannot have this process without debating your opponents. Both the RNC and the DNC should stand up and say, we're going to hold these debates for all candidates, and you all must show up. But I have a feeling that's not going to happen because we're in a coronation process, not an electoral process, it appears at this point, guys.
Yep. Can't argue with that. That's a correct assessment in regards to the DNC and RNC, Trump and Biden. This election cycle will be entertaining, and yes, we will be covering it. But again, case in point, this is how the establishment tries to protect itself, because they don't want the big dark secret to be revealed, that a lot of their heavy hitters are senile and old, or their young up-and-comers are just a bunch of, well, click, copy, paste versions of their old senile heavy hitters. We live in a sick system here, folks. Do not trust in electoral politics to save you. Be entertained by it. You can laugh at these bastards who pretend to be human. But all in all, don't trust electoral politics to save you. Break away from the two-party system. But it'll be fun and entertaining to cover, especially the 2024 Democratic Convention here in Chicago. Trust in Hard Lens Media to cover it.